losing a game like this, you can just see the agony on Jan's face, and it's kind of a little bit disturbing in a certain ways. We've all got to pass on our love to the poor guy. I think it will be move 55. Maybe I had a little prediction on that. That's what I'm going to go for. So I'm hoping for move 55, but we'll just get a couple of other people's impression on what's going on. And I've got my good friend here, Blair, who came all the way from England to have a pint and to also, well, just watch some of the chess. So Blair, you're a big chess fan yourself, and how do you think the game's been today? I mean, it's been very tough for Jan, yeah? So
it's been an incredibly disappointing day for Jan Nepomniachtchi today, hasn't it? I mean, I think that game 6, the epic battle in game 6, I think it's taken its toll, and he's just not been himself today at all, has he? We've not seen any real fight from him today. Just a disappointing day all round for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's what most people are thinking. I mean, we're a lot of us are happy for Magnus. I mean, he's getting nearer to becoming world champion. I don't think it's totally over. There's a rest day. There's 6 games to go. Jan's got to go all in with the rest of the games so he can really try some crazy chess. So I think actually it's going to be more exciting, the games, because you just got to throw everything at him. King's Gambit, whatever you want. What the hell? Just go for it. So we're going to have great chess to come, but effectively at the moment the game is over and Magnus has got another great win under his belt. So I don't know if we're going to get a celebratory beer now or a commiseration beer for Jan, but it's come to that time of the day, and I don't know what you're feeling back in the studio. Happy and sad, I think, is the emotions we've got here. Yeah, I guess that covers it, Simon. Happy days for Magnus, but just devastating for Jan Nepomniachtchi. Thanks so much for that, and I guess maybe the screaming and the celebration and the good night will be coming very soon. Maybe at move 55, as you predicted. And none of the players are right now sitting by the board. Magnus is in the move. He's not here. What will happen when he comes back? And here he comes back.
Well, I do predict that he will maybe relocate the queen once more just to control the black queen's checking squares. And I think he's just simply, I want to say playing with Nepomniachtchi, because he knows that Nepomniachtchi has no chance. It's just about coordinating everything correctly and then waiting for Nepomniachtchi to just extend his hand in resignation.
Yeah.
But I don't think that Magnus will actually push one of his pawns.
No, and maybe we can just show this, the winning technique that we're both expecting here right now from Magnus. He's just given a check to the black king. This was blocked by the black pawn. And now the move I'm expecting for sure is actually to retreat the white queen all the way back to the first rank, just to cover any checks along this rank. But also, after a check on the diagonal, white's king now is super safe. There's no more checks for the rest of the game. And because the white queen is placed behind the passed pawn, this passed pawn is simply going to motor up the board, and it's going to decide the game. I think black has no counterplay here. Also, the white queen does cover this square, which is key, because if black pushes the pawn, the white queen is always going to be covering and can take this pawn at the right moment. So some work to be done for Magnus potentially, but if he steps back with his queen, I think this will cut out any more checks. And also, if the black queen ever just goes back to block one pawn, then remember, white has another one to push, and eventually the black queen will be forced out of the way of Magnus's pawns. So this is the move I'm expecting personally, to retreat here. I think that would make sense of white's last move at least. And Jovanka, you mentioned probably not expecting this one.
No.
Maybe it's good as well.
Yeah.
No reason to allow any checks, though, along the first rank. For example, if you push forward, at least you have some annoying calculation work to be done now.
Yeah, you've got to work out what
Necessary.
happens. Yeah, exactly. And you don't want to immobilise your queen in order to block the check. So much easier to just play the move that you suggested, drop the queen back, and then get ready to push pawns.
Yeah, drop the queen back, hide the king in the corner, and then push Beth and David up the board. The B and D pawns. Looks relatively straightforward. Let's go back to the world champion. Is he about to make that move? Is he going to retreat the white queen?
Is this a new tactic from him? Raising his hand to make his move, but saying to himself, look one more time.
Yeah, possibly. It's difficult to say, though, whether it's kind of an instinctive thing or whether it's a conscious decision. Normally it looks like he's focusing OK, there we go, the queen move that we indicated. But normally it's, I mean, players, I don't really do that on purpose. If it happens, then it's purely because I'm genuinely changing my mind or doubting myself. It's not a conscious decision saying, OK, nope, second thought. Normally you do that with, your hands by your side or sitting on those hands. But, yeah, Nepomniachtchi now, if he doesn't find any counterplay, he can give one more check. He can move the black king, he can move a black pawn, but nothing's going to change. It's hard to give much advice here for black.
Yeah.
For Nepo.
Yes, it is. And shall I tell the rest of my Hikaru promoting to a knight story?
Yes.
It was against Shakhriyar Mamedyarov in a blitz game, and so he could have chosen to promote to a queen, to a bishop, to a rook. And Shakhriyar Mamedyarov would have been forced to capture that piece. Because he chose to very flashily promote to a knight, this allowed Shakhriyar Mamedyarov to give like a check with his rook and drive the white king back. And then he captured the knight. And the funniest thing is that it actually became really difficult for Hikaru to defend what was an easily drawn position. And he lost it. And afterwards, Shakhriyar gave this interview, like he couldn't believe his eyes. He said, promote to a queen, promote to a rook, promote to anything but a knight. Yeah. But I mean, so good idea. It's great to be flashy, but you've got to calculate it properly.
Wait, so we've seen this in online chess, of course. You choose which piece you want to promote to. How does it work in over the board if you don't want to promote to that extra queen that is beside the board?
Normally, by the time you make a promotion, knights have been traded off or bishops have been traded off, so you can go and take the piece which has left the board and put it on the board. Yeah, I mean, it's very rare to promote to bishops, rooks, I must say. Bishops and rooks, the reason we nearly never see promotions is because they do the same job as a queen, so you might as well promote to a queen. The rare times that knight promotions happen, you normally do have that knight, but if not, I guess you stop the clock. You ask the arbiter, can I have a spare knight? And they'll go run off and get one for you.
That would be an interesting situation.
What you must not do is you must not promote the pawn and just leave it as a pawn.
Oh, and then click the clock?
An illegal move, actually. Pawn cannot be on the end rank. Yeah.
So if you do that, you don't take another piece and you click the clock. Yeah. Illegal move.
It is an illegal move.
And then blitz, sometimes you lose the game if you make an illegal move.
Yeah.
So, yeah, don't do that. Also, for online players, I know a lot of our viewers play a lot online. Don't necessarily have auto-promote to queen on the board. Just in case you promote to a queen, it might end in stalemate. Or you promote to a queen, and it's not necessarily the best move. Sometimes you want to promote to a knight with a check. But then again, if you don't have auto-promote to queen on, if you have no time on the clock, then it takes annoyingly several seconds to promote to that queen. And, OK, my prediction is not correct. It's not 42 moves. I was secretly hoping Nepomniachtchi might throw in the towel there.
Still close, though.
Still close. OK, he gives a check. The white king, has to sidestep the check, but it's safe in the corner. No more checks. And, OK, nothing else to do. The black pawn has to push forward. You need counterplay in queen endgames. You need to open up your opponent's king. And that's why Nepomniachtchi has pushed this pawn. He wants to actually give up this pawn. He wants to throw it down the board even further in order to break up white's structure, white's protection in front of the white king.
Yeah, we did see in that game 6 that Magnus eventually won. The bar was all the way up to like 60. I think even at a point 100 maybe.
Yeah.
It's only 6.
It's only 6.
So does that mean there is hope, or is it the computer that is not able to sort of see this fully?
Yeah, I mean, the computer that we're using, I think it has a specific horizon. Maybe if the horizon was deeper, if we were running it on the most powerful processors, it would probably say plus 100 or close right now. But yeah, that means at least that there's no win within the next 20 moves or 25 moves, or no forced checkmate.
Because 100 means checkmate, basically?
Checkmate within the next few moves, yeah. It shows that Magnus can win, but it's not a forced checkmate in 20 or 25. He still needs to find a few accurate moves first. Of course, he might win before the next 20 moves, but if Nepomniachtchi defends correctly, he can fight for a bit longer.
Well, he leaves again, Jan Nepomniachtchi. A sign he's not about to resign this game.
There is like a tiny smidgen of hope here, and that is, as David kind of indicated, for black just to push that g-pawn 1 square forward. And then the whole idea is that if the white queen captures, then the white queen is kind of decoyed from the defense of the king. And if it's the pawn that captures, then the idea is just simply to push forward with your h-pawn and try to remove the cover from white's king.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Nepomniachtchi, even if he does go for this, then after this trade, yes, the white king is out in the open, but white is 3 pawns up, and all of the 3 pawns are defended by the white queen. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I think this one's pretty hopeless as well. You can give 1 check here, but eventually the checks will dry up. For example, I can already see a way to stop the checks. You can bring your queen forward, and after 1 more check, you just hide on the side of the board. So, with 3 extra pawns, it's pretty straightforward. But Nepomniachtchi, he has to try something, and he's hoping that Magnus just gets nervous about the white king maybe being opened up. So, for example, if white does push forward, this type of scenario where after pawn takes pawn, the black pawn's coming forward, the white king not entirely safe, maybe Magnus just slightly nervous here. And also in this line, after I mentioned the pawn stepping forward, maybe black can create some threats of checkmate. A bit of a pin here. This won't save the game, but at least it's putting the fear of ghosts into Magnus's mind. So I like the fact he's playing on Nepomniachtchi, despite breaking my prediction challenge. I like the fact he's at least fighting now, before it's too late.
I agree.
I agree, especially because I've predicted 50 moves. So I'm getting close. And yeah, I'm quite inspired because your line looked like it might last 7 moves.
Ooh, true.
And then, whoa, 10 points in the bag. Sorry, David, I'm a bit competitive.
That's all right. That's all
Well,
right.
we know you are because you're a top chess player. And what we've talked about today, if you're going to be a top chess player, you need to be competitive.
Yeah, nothing wrong with being competitive as long as you're respectful to other people. Sportsmanship is important as well, but of course, competition. That's why we love sport.
Yeah. Which is why it's nice that they have these rooms where they can rest in between, because then maybe Nepo can be in there right now, just get his frustration out, so that he can, in a respectful way, resign at some point.
Yeah, exactly. And we should also mention it's not disrespectful to play on. It's within the rules of chess.
Yeah.
So resignation is fine sometimes if you know it's inevitable, if you want to just escape and go and rest, but you don't have to. Why not play on?
Well, we always hope they're going to play to checkmate, right?
Exactly. We want to see it as fans. Right?
Yeah.
But what's really nice, actually, that Nepomniachtchi is playing on is that we actually get to see the technique that Magnus uses in order to score the full point.
Is this, instructive, something for beginners to pay attention to right now?
Definitely.
With 4 pawns for Magnus, 2 for Jan?
Right, because, I mean, we could have seen situations where Magnus was really kind of like carefree, just pushed forward with his pawns. But here we see Magnus take a very slow and steady approach. He's like, well, first of all, I'm going to secure my pawns, I'm going to secure my king, I'm going to try to control the whole board. And then, and only then, will he think about advancing and rushing forward with one of his pawns.
Yeah, it's always about control. I think the other thing that when I was young, I used to commit some mistakes in queen endings. It was just giving checks at any possible moment. For example, Magnus, now he can bring the white queen up and deliver check to the black king, but he doesn't need to do that. He, remember, is 2 pawns up. He's not going to win this game by checking. He's going to win this game by pushing pawns. So just because you see a check doesn't mean you have to go for it. And Magnus, I think they're about to push his central pawn. And, okay, he took his hand back, but there we go.
There it comes.
That d-pawn is marching, finally. He feels he has full control, and he's hoping that black's pawn push, the only remaining source of hope for Nepomniachtchi, is not going to lead anywhere.
Well, they played now for 4 hours, 44 moves. Could it also be that Jan he wants this game to last as long as possible because you don't want to lose a quick game, right?
No, exactly. I've been there many times myself. Sometimes on move 25, I'm completely lost. And then I just think, OK, it looks bad on the score sheet. It looks bad for the fans if they see a quick defeat. So, OK, here we go. Exactly what we showed. Black gave up that pawn to open up the white king. And black is currently 3 pawns down.
Wow.
Yeah. At least the white king, though, less safe than it used to be. And again, some fear in the back of Magnus's mind.
I mean, there's no perpetual even if you capture the pawn, right?
Yeah, I think you can take the pawn safely. You can move the white queen safely. It looks like Magnus going for his queen. You can even push the white pawn safely, but there we go. The white queen going as close to the white king as possible. And resignation.
It's over. Magnus Carlsen is up by 2 points in the World Chess Championship match after 8 games. A devastating and brutal loss for Jan.
No, I mean, h4, c4 is not so easy.
No, I mean, okay, just jump under the phone, yeah, it's the same.
Yeah. No, I mean, I thought instead of b5,
No, I mean,
queen